While all Tauruses are known to be stubborn, indulgent, and maybe a bit too comfortable as people, did you actually know that there's 3 different kinds of Tauruses? Watch this video where I'm going to break down what these 3 kinds of Tauruses are so you can find out which one you are. Hello and welcome back to the channel. I'm Isabel, your spiritual rebel friend, and today we are talking about the 3 different kinds of Taurus. Because yes, all Tauruses are known to be stubborn, persistent, indulgent, and maybe comfort oriented. There's actually 3 different kinds of Tauruses, and so if you feel like being a Taurus doesn't quite resonate for you, whether that's your sun, moon, or rising, it could be because you're a different kind of Taurus. And I recently got a lot of requests on my channel to do a video talking about the Tauruses, specifically the different kinds of Taurus Decans. And so today we are here to talk about that. So in this video specifically, I'm going to cover an introductory to the Decans. And if you have no idea what I'm talking about, don't worry. I'm going to explain how this ties into the 3 different kinds of Tauruses in just a second. The Decan 1 Taurus, the Decan 2 Taurus, and the Decan 3 Taurus, as well as the strengths and weaknesses for each of these different types of Tauruses and how to apply this knowledge. So if you're the kind of person who loves to take in astrology but wants to know what to do with the information once you have it, watch through to the end of this video where I'm going to break down my practical tips for using this knowledge to your benefit. I figured I'd just continue my Taurus streak and talk about the Taurus Decans, not only because of request, but because of request, because I know I don't give Tauruses as much of attention as I should. So today we're talking about the 3 different kinds of Tauruses. And these 3 different kinds of Tauruses, I feel like I keep saying Tauruses and it sounds weird. But point being, we're talking about the 3 different kinds of Taurus today because there are 3 different subtypes based off of a concept called the Decans. So really, these 3 types of Taurus in the end are a root of 3 different Decans of Taurus. So if you want to know what the concept is in the first place, watch this next segment or jump to the timestamps below just to know what the 3 kinds of Taurus are. So first and foremost, what are the Decans? And I'm going to make this very brief since I cover it in all of my videos, and I'm sure you've already seen my videos. Let me know in the comments below if you want me to do a video specifically explaining what the Decans are in the first place. But the Decans are based off of the fact that within each zodiac sign, we have 30 degrees to each zodiac sign, creating a 360-degree wheel. And we can break down these 30 degrees into 3 separate segments of Taurus, in this case, that have different personality traits, because we have this evolutionary process with a archetype. We have an introductory to it, it's stereotypical energy, and then it basically gets aid, I would call it, or help from its fellow earth signs in the case of Taurus. So Taurus's fellow earth signs being Virgo and Capricorn, they reach into their traits as almost like siblings or parents to get extra help. And they're going to be based off of the planetary rulers. So Venus stereotypically rules over Taurus, and that will be Decan 1 Taurus themes. But then we're going to reach into the parents of Capricorn and Virgo, so to say, Saturn and Mercury, to get more help in developing Taurus's themes. So given that there's 3 different Decans of Taurus, 3 different subtypes, 3 different segments of 10 degrees. This is why some people resonate with the Taurus stereotypes of being stubborn and indulgent, and some people don't, because you're not going to take on stereotypical Taurus energy. So now that you have your introductory to the Decans, let's dive into what the 3 different kinds of Tauruses are. So first and foremost, if you are born between April 20th and April 29th, and or you have any sun, moon, rising placement in your chart between 0 and 10 degrees of Taurus, you are a Decan 1 Taurus, the stereotypical Taurus that is ruled by Venus. And I'm reading a book on Kabbalistic astrology, and they explain really the stereotypical Decan 1 Taurus so well, which is, imagine a bull in a field where the grass is just green as far as the eye can see, and they don't want to be popped from their little bubble. The Decan 1 Taurus really is the epitome of the bull in the bubble archetype, the stubborn, persistent person who doesn't really actually need to push their way through anything in life because everything they need is right where they are. These people are very harmony driven, and they're really oftentimes can be that indulgent archetype. Because they're ruled by Venus, they are always pursuing the next beautiful thing, the next pleasurable thing, the next enjoyable thing. To a Decan 1 Taurus, there is no reason to not enjoy life. Everything is just beautiful around them. which is not to say that they see life through rose-tinted glasses, but more so they wear blinders to the negative. And so these people can have a very optimistic energy to them, in the sense that they truly seem to form this bubble around their lives. And so this is the Taurus that really stays in their own lane, just does their own thing, is always on the lookout for the next enjoyable thing. They're very welcoming, very harmonious, and maybe a little less of that persistence energy that we can sometimes associate with Taurus, because to them, life is just beautiful and everything they need is right here with them. The Decan 1 Taurus has this energy of sensuality and groundedness to them, where they seem to be very much enjoying life's pleasures and very connected to the world around them. These people can be very sensory and very aware of their surroundings in many cases, and they have this aura of beauty to them as well as groundedness. They seem unshakable in their self-worth at first glance, which, depending on, your moon sign and your second house placement, that could be a different case. But overall, these people seem very grounded. They seem very sensual. And with that being their strengths for this grounded, unshakable, sensual nature that just sees the beauty and enjoys the beauty all around them, there does come some challenges. For the Decan 1 Taurus, their stubbornness plays out as the desire to not be popped from their bubble. And so, like I said, this Taurus, while they have this, in a way, gift of wearing blinders to the things they don't want to see, that can be their very challenge, is that they wear blinders to the things they don't want to see. And they can feel like they're energetically, emotionally don't want to be popped from their bubble. So they're very, very stuck in their ways. Trying to change a Decan 1 Taurus or get them to do something they don't want to do can be extremely challenging. And given that they're ruled by the sensual seeking, pleasure seeking Venus, this can be the most indulgent of the Taurus Decans. And so these people can be prone to overindulgence. If you were born between April 30th and May 9th, and or you have a sun, moon, rising, or some other planet or point in your chart between 10 and 20 degrees of Taurus, you are a Decan 2 Taurus, the Virgo Mercury edition of Taurus. This is going to be the Taurus that is much more communicative naturally and uses their stubbornness that is associated with Taurus to be stubborn in their learning process. This is going to be the most perceptive of the Taurus archetypes, as they are ruled by Mercury. And they can, because they're so observant, be a little bit more on the social side in one interpretation. On the other hand, this could be a more mental Taurus that prefers not to be more extroverted and would rather learn on their own, because they'd rather channel their energy towards their own things that they enjoy, which is they enjoy learning. Combining Taurus's earthly energies of being aware of their surroundings and being very in touch with their senses, and combining that with Mercury, really makes these people very aware of their surroundings and very, very perceptive, and also a desire to be organized, because they're combining their sensuality with a need for order and analysis. And so this is a more analytical Virgo, one that is going to be more detail oriented, one that's going to be, yes, more perceptive of the world around them and potentially more talkative as a result, but also in the end trying to root their observation and their sensuality in data. So this is the kind of Taurus that loves their routine, in my personal interpretation, that wants to have a sense of structure over all that they do, rather than maybe the Decan 1 Taurus, which can just go with the flow and go wherever the grass looks greenest. The Decan 2 Taurus is one that needs more logic attached to their sensuality. And this could be the person that uses their logic to further expand their pleasure and their sensuality. And so with these strengths of being very oftentimes communicative, very analytical, and yet indulgent at the same time, being able to combine this mental energy with this physical awareness, being very perceptive, these are their strengths as a Decan 2 Taurus, but there can also be some challenges. Given that the second Decan of Taurus is going to be ruled by Mercury, they're going to have a stereotypical Mercury-ruled struggle, which is this is the Taurus that is most prone to overthinking and overanalysis. Or on the other hand, because they have a mental energy that they're not aware of, they can end up being more indulgent and numbing specifically in their indulgent behavior, because they can't handle their overthinking that is not getting channeled. So really, it's can play out in two subtly different ways, but overthinking does get the best of this Taurus either way. And they can get into a trap of feeling like they're never analyzing enough. And because they're so sensually aware of their surroundings, it can constantly feel like they're overstimulated. But again, overall, this is going to be a very positively, in many ways, analytical Taurus who can use their skills of observation to both their own personal benefit and the benefit of those around them. And finally, if you are born between May 10th and May 20th, you are a Decan 3 Taurus, the Saturn Capricorn edition, the most responsible and persistent of the Taurus subtypes, so to say, or of the Taurus Decans. Saturn is the planet of strength, restriction, and resilience and discipline. It often acts like an inner parent. And so with being a Taurus ruled by this planet as a subplanet, so to say, or being this Decan of Taurus in the end, really does imply that your Taurus energy is given an extra layer of disciplinary nature or even of persistence. And so this is the Taurus that may appear at first and really, and actually to restart that sentence, I would say that this is probably the Taurus that resonates the least with the idea of them being indulgent, because this is the Taurus that's going to push themselves first. And in a way, they feel that they need to earn their indulgences even more because they are so disciplinary. And so this is the Taurus that is going to appear the most hardworking, the most persistent, and extremely stubborn in doing things their way, which is to put in a lot of effort. So you could think of it as the Decan 1 Taurus is going to be the bull in the bubble, the bull in the field, just happily grazing on their grass. Whereas the Decan 3 Taurus is like a bull in a cage, or bull, what do you call it? Like the matador, charging things head on. They see red and they go. And so this is the most persistent point being of the Tauruses. This is the Taurus that fights back, or you can think of a bull rider type, that kind of bull. Fighting back, that is aggressive and ready to fight specifically. So this is the Taurus in the end that has extra persistence, extra hardworking, and seems the least indulgent because they're pushing themselves hard. And in a way, them putting effort in and working hard is their form of indulgence. So clearly the strengths of the Decan 3 Taurus is that they're hardworking, persistent, disciplinary as a Taurus. Don't get out of a Taurus, of Decan 3 Taurus's way. Don't get in their way. And with those strengths, there are going to be some challenges. So I think that while this is the most hardworking and disciplinary and persistent of the Tauruses, this is going to be the Taurus that is most prone to being stuck in their ways. Like we said, or like I just said, you want to get out of a Decan 3 Taurus's way. This also means that you don't want to get in their way. They're an impossible force to stop. They're going to be very stuck in their ways, and they could be prone, with that simply put, to the most closed-mindedness because they see things as extra structured. Saturn is the planet of structure. And so when you are a Decan 3 Taurus or have a Decan 3 placement, you see things your way, and it's very hard to shift that perspective. Taurus is already a fixed sign, but when it has the extra rule of Saturn, this makes these people see things a certain way, and it is quite literally almost impossible to change their way of seeing things or behaving. And so simply because the Decan 3 Taurus thinks they need to put in hard effort for everything, I think this is the Taurus that's most likely to get into physical or at least emotional burnout. So now that you have an understanding of the 3 different kinds of Taurus and you know which one you are or potentially could be, what do you do with this knowledge? So I want to take the last few minutes of this video to talk about some practical ways that I personally have been using this knowledge or trying to apply it. Simply put, the best thing about understanding the Decans of Taurus is understanding your unique strengths and weaknesses, more so than just the stereotypical interpretation of the strengths and weaknesses you'll have as a Taurus. Because like I said, some people resonate more, some people don't with the stereotypical Taurus. And that's because of the Decans, the different types of Taurus. So understanding your planetary ruler and how that changes the tint, so to say, of your Taurus archetype, regardless of the placement, can help you understand your strengths and weaknesses. The Decan 1 Taurus's strength is going to be their eye for beauty and indulgence. The Decan 2 Taurus's strength is going to be their communicative, analytical, perceptive nature. The Decan 3 Taurus is going to have a persistence and hardworking nature unlike any other. And these are just based off of what I already know or simply know from a simple analysis of each Decan. So you can take all the information I've said and go and write out what your unique strengths are going to be. And also with that, what your weaknesses are going to be. I think that the Decan 1 Taurus is going to struggle the most with overindulgence. The Decan 2 Taurus is going to struggle the most with overthinking and overstimulus. And the Decan 3 Taurus is going to struggle with being the most stuck in their ways. So you can take this information and write out and figure out what your strengths and weaknesses are and ask yourself where you can apply this. It really helps also to know what house your Taurus energy is in, because not only do you have a sign that your planets and points are in, your sun, your moon, your rising, you also have a house, and that tells you where this energy can best be embraced. So if you want to learn more on how to understand that and how you can use this energy or use this knowledge to your benefit, book a reading down below where in 1 hour we can dive deep into your astrological birth chart, including these Decan concepts and how these Decans are placed in your chart and what your other Decans and placements are in your chart. Because you're not just a Taurus, you have a moon sign, a rising, and these all play a factor on your energy. And that can partially be, if you're watching this video and still going, I still don't really resonate with Taurus, it's probably just because it's your sun sign or just your rising. And that's just one of many aspects in your chart, one that is very superficial oftentimes. So book a reading down below if you want to learn more. Recent clients have said amazing things about the readings. They've given them great insight into their understanding of the Decans and so much more, and how this applies to their career, their relationships, and so much more. So book a reading down below if you want to dive deeper, and be sure to subscribe to the YouTube channel. Stay tuned for more videos breaking down the stars and more. Did you enjoy this video on the Decans of Taurus? What Decans do you want to hear about next? What do you want to hear next about on the channel? Is it something else? Is it moon signs? Is it the North Node? Is it transits? Is it horoscopes? Let me know in the comments below. I appreciate your guys' feedback so much. Even if it seems like I skip over it, I'm trying my best to keep track of all the requests, because requests come through on an hourly basis. So let me know in the comments below what you want to hear about next, and I'll be sure to do my best to film about it. Thank you guys so much for watching this video. Sincerely hope you enjoyed. Once again, my name's Isabel, and from my heart to yours, namaste.